All right, so welcome. I'm really excited about today because it's upper body, which is honestly something that I ignore far too often, but we're going to be really working on the postural muscles today. So our upper back muscles, so our serratus anterior, which is really what pins down our scapula, as well as our traps, which connect from the extensors of your neck down to your scapula as well. So we're going to be working on a lot of those postural muscles. And then a little bit of shoulders and chest in there too. We're doing, a few push-ups. I'll say that. So anyway, I'm really excited. We're going to start. Oh, feel free, as always, to play music on your end. I don't play it on my end because if I upload this to YouTube with music, it will copyright me. So feel free to play music on your end. And then, as always, modify however you need. This is Ryan, my boyfriend. He will be the model for today. All right, we're going to start on our back. So finding a neutral spine. So really pressing down with your low back. So feet are planted on the ground and finding a neutral spine. So you can tip your tailbone up a little bit and really pressing down. It should feel like basically from your skull to your scapula to your sacrum are all relatively in a line. Again, that's going to depend on your alignment. We're actually going to start with our hands up today, so flexing them back, and you're just going to kind of roll them around. So we spend so much of our day on computers and texting, so play around with what feels really tense. Maybe it feels really good to spread out your fingers, moving around the thumbs. We're going to be on our hands a good amount today, so make sure you're warming those up a bit. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
All right, and then we'll find ourselves back at our tray position, and you're just going to hold it here for a second. Immediately, my wrists warm up. They feel nice and spicy, so pulling them back towards you, and we're going to actually take that left hand and pull back on that right hand. So you can really spread out that thumb, too, if that feels good. And just getting some opening in that wrist. We'll switch to the other side, so finding a tray with that left hand and pulling that right hand back, or left hand back. Good. All right, you can finish with a couple of rolls, and then we'll get right into our hip bridge. So feet can be a little further away. You don't have to be able to touch them or anything. We're going to squeeze those glutes and come up into a glute bridge here. And we're really going to turn on those glutes. So you can imagine the feet are almost pulling away here. And we're just going to start with some marches. So lifting that leg up to 90 degrees and then bringing it back down, lifting it up. And do this at your own pace. There's no necessary speed. Preferably slower rather than faster. And see if you can keep your pelvis even the whole time. So rather than one hip dip, see if you can keep those pelvic points like they're tied into the ceiling. Like basically they're staying at the same horizontal level. Good, we'll do a couple more. And I like to put my hands in my hip creases so that I remember to keep my pelvic points equal. All right, we'll come back to neutral here, and we're gonna bring those hands back up into the trays. And keeping that neutral pelvis, you're going to extend those arms up over your head. The fingers don't have to touch the ground, but just opening up that chest a little bit and then bringing them back up. Bringing them up behind you, so lifting the scapula. And your hips are still lifted here. So we'll do a couple, just opening up some of the shoulders and the chest. Good, one more. All right, bringing those hands back up, you're going to bring the wrists to neutral and then make fists. And you're going to squeeze those elbows out to cactus and squeeze the elbows so that they can be touching the ground and then punching them back up to the ceiling. So we're just warming up all of these muscles. So opening the chest wide, we're still in our hip bridge here and extending back up. We'll do 3 more, squeezing the elbows out to the side and back up. Good, one more. Squeezing those elbows open, and then we'll relax those hips down. So hopefully the glutes are feeling a little bit warm here. Bringing those hands behind your head, elbows pointed up towards the ceiling. We'll inhale. On that exhale, you're peeling those shoulder blades up off the ground into a crunch here. We'll extend that left leg out and extend that right arm. So left leg is extended, right arm is extended in front of you. So pulling from that shoulder blade. All right, right hand goes back, left foot goes down. Inhale, exhale, and lift. So pressing that head back into your hands, right foot, left hand. Extending, squeezing from that shoulder blade. Left hand goes back, right foot goes down. We'll add on. Inhale, exhale, and lift up. Left leg, right arm. This time we're making that fist again, and that fist is pressing down. You can't see me super well here, but that elbow is coming straight down, so squeezing into the ground, and you'll feel some deep core muscles here. Keep staying there. And then bringing that hand behind your head and down. Inhale, exhale, and lift this time. That right leg and left arm, making that fist, and then elbow comes down to the ground, pressing it in. Oh, it always feels so deep. Good, hand behind your head. Adding on, inhale, exhale, and lift up. That left leg comes out. Right arm. Before you bring that elbow down, we're going to be twisting just a little couple inches towards that left leg. And then now you're bringing that elbow down. So you're in a little bit of a twist here. Elbows on the ground. Fist back behind your head. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And lift. That right leg is coming up. Left arm fisting. We're going to twist towards that right leg. And here, you're pulling back like you're in a row. Good, hand behind your head and down, nice. All right, we're coming into quadruped. We did this before. So this was what we did last week that everyone thought was really intense, but I do think it's a really good wrist warm up. So you're going to find where on your fingers are essentially where your hand turns into your fingers. And you're going to keep those on the ground and kind of find some buoyancy. So keeping that part of the hand on the ground. So notice I'm not lifting them up all the way. I'm really just lifting up to where like the seam is between your fingers. So you can lean a little bit over your hands here. And again, this is going to be intense if you're on a computer a lot, but you're really pressing up and warming up the forearms and the wrists for all that work. And you can play with moving like back. Like this is going to feel less intense than you being pretty much over those wrists. And once you get a couple in, this may start to burn a little bit. You're just lifting up the palm of your hands here. You can splay out that thumb if that feels good. We'll do a couple more. Oh, it burns. Good. All right, you can sit back and give your wrists a little bit of a roll. And we'll do one last warm up before we get into, well, I guess two more quick warm ups. So you're going to come to your quadruped. So those knees are under your hips. The shoulders are right above your wrists. And you're going to bring that left hand to the back of your neck here. So finding that neutral spine, that neck is pressed. Your chin is tucked a bit. And we're going to open up here. So twisting from that right arm, opening up that thoracic spine, feeling some opening here, and then back down. We'll do 5 of those on each side. So opening up, feeling some open in that chest and your upper back, back down. And you can almost imagine you're screwing that right hand into the ground so that shoulder blade is really tucking back behind. And when you're done with those 5, you can switch to the other side. So depending on the tightness of your thorax, this might feel really easy, or if you have a tight thoracic spine like I do, this may feel pretty intense. And again, trying to keep that core engaged the whole time here. You don't want to let the lower back take the weight. All right, we're gonna get right into it. So feel free to grab some water and I'll demo our first set. So our interval is going to be 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And we're gonna be doing it 2 times through. So there's 2 exercises repeating twice. And so it'll be 4-minute intervals. So our first exercise is going to be a high lunge with rows. So you can have those feet staggered. You're kind of coming into a lunge position here, and then finding again that neutral spine. You're gonna come forward, arms come down, and we're squeezing back. We can find those fists again, squeezing down and back up. If you have weights, you can use weights for this, or you can just, I think it's pretty hard, just really squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then our second exercise is going to be a sumo squat with a cactus squeeze. So coming into that sumo squat, those arms are in cactus and squeezing those elbows down like you're doing a lat pull, and then back up to cactus. Into that lat pull, up into cactus. I'm already getting a little hot. All right, Ryan's grabbing weights. All right, let's do it. So starting with whatever leg you want to start with for that lunge to row. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So tipping at the hips here, pressing those hips back, arms come down, making those fists. We're squeezing those elbows back and squeezing the shoulder blades together. Both knees have a little bend. And so notice here how I'm not arching the back. I'm also not bending it. I'm keeping a neutral spine. So squeezing those elbows up, squeezing and back down. So imagining that there's real weights there that can really add on. We're getting up into those deep postural muscles in our upper back. And maybe the glutes burn it a little bit if you have yourself in that lunge position. Core is still fired up here, helping you keep that neutral spine. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll come into that sumo squat with our lat squeezes. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So you can always find a normal squat, or you can find that sumo squat. So arms are in cactus and we're squeezing. I like having fists still, but you can keep the hands. So squeezing like you're actually pulling ropes that are weighted down and squeezing those shoulder blades together. Glutes are engaged here. This should feel like a really nice opening, and you're pulling those shoulder blades down your back. Try to tuck your ribs. You don't want to be splaying them out. This is what I call a scapula massage on the back. It should feel pretty good. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll switch to the other leg in front this time for our rows. So finding the neutral pelvis. Your hip points are facing forward. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. So tipping at the hips here over that front knee, rolling those shoulders back and squeezing here. So that left glute is fired up if you're on your left leg. Both knees have bend to them, and you're squeezing those elbows up and back. Good. So really getting some action, maybe even in the triceps a little bit here too. Good. 15 seconds. Like we're mowing the lawn, I guess. I don't really know what this looks like. Oh, my glute is feeling it too. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We're back into those sumo squats with our lat pulls. Toes turned out a little bit. Again, finding that neutral pelvis sitting down into that squat. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So pulling those elbows down and squeezing back up. See if you can keep tension on them the whole time. So not just releasing when you come back up, but you're pushing back up into that neutral and then pulling back down. Core is engaged here. If you want to get a little bit deeper, feel free to do that or stay where you're at. 15 seconds. So obviously you could just do this, but really see if you can imagine you're pulling down that weight. It's gonna feel very different. Good, 3, 2, 1, relax. Nice, first round is done. So our next 2 exercises, oh, that was like really low. We're gonna be on our mat for this one. So our first one is, oh yeah, wait, we're here first. So we're still going to be here, but push up to cactus. So you can do this on your knees or on your toes. You're finding that push up position. We're coming down. We're lowering, coming into a cactus with the arms and lifting up into a low Superman. So engaging the glutes and the upper back here, not the lower back. So squeezing up, elbows together, planting the hands, pushing back up. Obviously, you could do this on your toes. I will not demonstrate, but you could imagine what it would look like. Our second exercise, we're gonna be doing a bird dog. So finding that quadruped, extending that right leg out, left arm, and we're coming knee across, knee, and then we'll switch to the other side for the next time. All right, push up to cactus, let's go. 45 seconds in 3, 2, 1. So lowering down, bringing those arms to cactus, squeezing up, holding for a second, planting, and pushing back up. So take this at your own speed. Again, remember to really slide those shoulder blades down your back, engage your core. And you should still feel that shoulder blade squeeze in that cactus Superman. So you can see you take out a little bit of the momentum when you do that Superman at the bottom, and that helps really engage those upper back muscles. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. You can slowly find your way to quadruped. So those wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. And we'll start with that left arm out, right leg. In 3, 2, 1. So extending opposite, and you're gonna crunch into the middle and come back out. So everything is engaged here. This is an active core workout. So finding balance, and that right shoulder is really helping to stabilize you here. And again, take this as slow or as fast as you want. And that glute is really engaged as well. It's slowing down this movement. And same movement as before of like screwing that right hand out, and you'll feel that scapula slide down a little bit on your back. 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. We're back into our push-ups to cactus. So slowly finding your way into a plank, either on your knees or on your toes. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So push up, finding that cactus position, engaging the glutes there. Nice and controlled. Good, maybe near the end you want to try a couple on your toes. Your option is totally yours. We have 15 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. We'll come into bird dog on the other side. So slowly finding your way to quadruped. Whew, I'm getting heated up pretty fast. All right, 3, 2, 1. So this time, right arm, left leg, knee into elbow. It doesn't have to touch. That's a myth. As long as you're moving towards that position, you may hit your range of motion, and that's totally fine. Those hips are staying even, and really just finding some core engagement here. You may really have to use that core to stabilize this motion as you are balancing on literally 2 of your 4 major limbs. 15 seconds. Good, almost there. 3, 2, 1. Feel free to grab some water. Nice job, everyone. All right, we're gonna go into our next round. Our first exercise is a glute knee lift. So we're down on our forearm here, and those knees are staggered, or not staggered, but they're stacked and bent. And you're gonna squeeze that glute med, and you can lift that top leg if you want a bit more engagement, or you can keep both knees on the ground and lift here, or you can lift all the way up and straighten the leg for the top option. But you're gonna see this shoulder is going to need to be working in order to do this movement. So really try to find the stability by wrapping that shoulder blade down your back. So instead of letting that shoulder come forward, see if you can wrap it down. So that's really where the stability is coming from. And then our second exercise is modified side plank extension. So you can either have that foot out to the back if you want a little bit more stability, or you can bring it underneath you. We'll extend that leg out. I'm gonna move this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So we're here, and we're gonna extend elbow into knee, and it doesn't have to actually touch. You can come here and back, but we're extending out and in. Again, this shoulder is really engaged, and that top arm is doing that same kind of lat pull movement that we did in our sumo squat. So putting everything together here, we're starting with our glute knee lifts. We'll start in 3, 2, and 1. So again, finding that stability in your shoulder first, and then squeezing up and back down. So again, you don't have to lift that top leg. You can, and notice my hip is lifting up off the ground here. So squeezing that glute med and lifting up and back down. I sometimes even like to put that top hand on my shoulder, and that helps remind me of where my stability needs to be. You love these. I feel my glute fired up pretty fast. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll come up onto that same arm for our modified side plank extensions. So you can kick that leg out, or you can have it underneath. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So knee into elbow, again, doesn't need to touch. It can just go in that general direction and then extend back out. And you're gonna feel some glute engagement here, some shoulder engagement, core engagement. Everything's kind of working to help you do this movement. Ryan's making a funny face. Good, so you'll find that some of the same control that you needed for bird dog is gonna be here. 45 seconds. Ooh, my bottom glute is burning. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll switch to the other side for our glute med lifts. Good. 3, 2, 1. So again, remember your options here. You can always just keep those knees stacked and lift the hips, or you can lift that top leg if that feels okay. And then remember that shoulder is your stability here. So wrapping that shoulder blade down. If you want another little check, you can take that right arm and bring it underneath your armpit and see if you can feel where your shoulder blade is. It shouldn't be sticking out too much. It should be tucked down. Good, 15 seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll come into that modified side plank position for our extensions. All right, 3, 2, 1. So again, generally knee into elbow direction, but it doesn't need to touch. Like mine literally can't on this side because of my hip. So just that general motion of pulling above you and then lifting that knee towards you. So again, that same feeling of pulling a weighted rope that's above your head down towards your knee. Again, this takes a lot of different parts of your body to do. So be very thankful that all these parts are functioning correctly, more or less. 3, 2, 1, relax. Whew. All right, we have 2 rounds left. So our next first exercise is a shoulder tap. So you can do this on your knees or on your toes. I'll show on your knees just so you can see. So we're finding that plank position, and you're gonna go opposite hand, opposite shoulder, opposite hand, opposite shoulder. Same thing if you're on your toes, and we're really finding, so notice that my hips aren't moving too much. See if you can almost keep them totally neutral here. Obviously you can't, but as close as you can to keeping that neutral position the whole time on those. And then our second one is dolphin leg lift. So we'll be in our dolphin position, so you can bring those hands together, or you can bring them like so. You're tugging those toes, lifting the hips, and we're just gonna go opposite leg extensions, taking turns, lifting one leg at a time. And then for that dolphin, you're really pushing those shoulder blades up and back. So you're pushing out of your forearms, and then like you could levitate almost. Obviously, we cannot. All right, let's go. So we're starting with our shoulder taps here. 45 seconds in 3, 2, 1. So finding that plank position, opposite hand, opposite shoulder. I also recommend bringing those feet wider. That helps bring some stability. And the slower you go, the more engaged you're really gonna have to be in all your different muscle groups. And again, you can always find this on your knees. And you can even feel your shoulders on each one. Are they staying stable? Are the shoulder blades relaxing down your back? Or are you protracting the shoulders up away from you? Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll come into our dolphin leg lifts. I know. These are going to be super fun. So excited. All right. 3, 2, 1. So finding that dolphin position, and then bringing that left leg up, and then you'll switch, alternate one leg lifted. So here you're finding that pressing out of your shoulder girdle, squeezing that core. And if you need a break, you can always come and just try this from your quadruped instead of your dolphin. That's a great option. So don't let your back just relax into your shoulders. See if you can really press out of your shoulders here. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We're back into our shoulder taps in 10 seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1. Again, I bring those feet wide so I can be a little bit more stable. Up to you. Tucking the glutes here. They'll help keep that pelvis even. And again, that neck shouldn't be dropping. So see if you can really tuck that chin and then press the spine so that it's even with the rest of your spine. Ooh, this one's way harder. 15 seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off.
That really gets the core.
That really gets the core. All right, coming to the dolphin for the last time. And again, you can always just hold the dolphin too. You can take out the feet alternating. 3, 2, 1. So tucking those toes, coming up. You can always just hold that dolphin, or you can add in the alternating legs. So really see if you can lift up those hips. The knees can be super bent. That's not where you need to be straightened, but see if you can really try to lift the hips up towards the ceiling.
Both legs at once.
Both legs at once. Pressing into the palms, into the forearms. Good. 3, 2, 1. Nice job, everyone. All right, we have a final round here. So our first exercise is an airplane-ish, I guess, like a airplane one-leg deadlift. So we'll find an airplane. So that we'll start with our right hand on our left thigh. And then bringing this arm, I guess in this case your left arm, and you're just gonna squeeze it up a couple inches and back down. So we're finding some of that balance as well as some of that upper back engagement. You can always just keep that back foot on the ground and do it from a low lunge. That's totally fine too. We'll do it for about 10 seconds and then do it again. So it's gonna still be for that 45-second interval, but unless you would like to try holding it for the whole 45 seconds, in which case you totally can. But I'll give options for that. And then our second exercise is a plank row. And if your wrists are feeling really tired, I'll give you another option for this. So the first option is a plank row. Again, you're finding that same kind of fist that you found. So elbow back and up. You could also do a wide row if you want to bring that elbow out wider. So alternating here. If you feel like your wrists are getting really tired, you can come down to that forearm plank and instead punch forward and back in, punch forward, back in. You could also tuck your toes, punch forward, back in. Same general kind of shoulder girdle engagement. All right. I'm tired. All right, let's find that airplane position. In 3, 2, 1. So you're on your left leg, your right hand is on that thigh. You're coming into that airplane, elbows coming up, and we're just lifting a couple inches up and down with that left arm. And again, you can always drop that toe if you want it to just be more centered on the shoulder, or if you want to find that balance here. So if you want to hold this for 45 seconds, feel free. If you need to take a break, take 1 second and then come back in. I actually feel like that's harder. You're getting out of the zone. Up to you. Core is engaged. So just lifting that arm a couple inches. 3, 2, 1. Oh, my glute. All right, so remember your options for the plank rows. You can do the traditional rows, or you can do the forearm punches instead. 3, 2, 1. So you can do this on your forearms. You can do this on your toes, up to you. And again, that same kind of feeling of you're pulling up a weighted rope. And that core is really helping you keep this out of your lower back. Good, 15 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds up. We're standing up for our airplane on the other side. So this time, right leg is forward, left hand will be on it, and you'll be lifting that right arm. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, move back because I was trying to stagger us. Okay. So again, bringing that arm out to the side like so, and then lifting it a couple inches. So again, that same feeling of squeezing that shoulder blade down your back and then lifting it a couple inches. You can always tuck that back toe and really just make this a shoulder blade exercise if you would rather do that. Yeah, or if you would rather this just be a glute exercise, you can always just hold it for a glute exercise. World is your oyster. Good. 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right, final 45 seconds here. We're coming to our plank rows or our forearm punches. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do you're coming down here and punching forward. It's so hard.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, but I kind of like it. Breathing wherever you are. I think Laura would like this one.
Laura.
I never
know which one you're
10 seconds left. Good. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Nice job, everyone. All right, so I lied. We have one final thing. I lied on purpose. Feel free to grab some water. We have a final minute and a half of a final arm thing. So I'm giving a bunch of options for this. Basically, you'll be choosing a push-up variation. So you could do a tricep push-up, so those hands are a little closer together. You can do a more traditional push-up, or you can do a military-style push-up with those hands pretty wide. Wherever you are, same feeling, shoulder blades back and down, tucking those ribs, core engaged. First 30 seconds, we're going normal speed push-ups. No rush, take your time, just whatever normal speed you would do push-ups at. Next 30 seconds, we're slowing it down. So we're gonna be pausing in our push-ups. So when you're halfway down, and again, doesn't matter, if this is your half, that's totally fine, and then you're pushing back up. Just wherever you're halfway is you're holding and pressing back up. And then our final 30 seconds, you're finding that hold, and as long as you can hold there with good form, you're holding for that 30 seconds. And then whenever you tap out, you just get to break for the rest of the time, or you can come back to it if you would like. So minute and a half here, and then we are done. Well, we'll do some stretches, but done. All right, so finding whatever position you want to here. So triceps, normal, wide, whatever feels best for you. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So finding those normal push-ups, whatever your normal speed is. So again, relaxing those shoulder blades down, neck is neutral. Glutes are tucked. All right, we're getting ready for that pause in 3, 2, 1. So when you get halfway or to the bottom, you pause and then press back up. So basically you're just pausing either halfway or at the bottom and then pressing back up. So you're adding some pauses to this movement. Arms are heating up. All right, we're getting ready for that final 30 seconds where you'll hold it as long as you can. In 3, 2, 1. Find wherever you want to be for that hold as long as you can. So make sure you have good form here. If you don't, take a second and then come back to us. 15 seconds. Everything hurts. Good. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Ow. Oh man. All right, you can find a seat here. We'll do some arm stretches. All right, so you're gonna bring those hands behind your back, but instead of pressing down, bring them to your low back and see if you can press those shoulder blades together and back. So the elbows are still bent here without splaying the ribs, but really squeezing those shoulder blades together, getting some opening in that chest. Ow, I think I killed Ryan. Yikes. Are you okay?
No, you're
All right, ow. All right, bringing those hands together to the front, and we're gonna just tuck our shoulder blades back, punching those hands forward, releasing that upper back a bit. Good, we'll bring those hands forward back into our trays. Same thing, so pressing back with the hands. Ryan always leaves for the stretching. And then switch to the other hand. So opening up those wrists. We did a lot on our hands today. All right, and then we'll bring our arms to cactus. I'm going to be away from my TV stand. And then we'll just come to some light twists here. So getting that opening as well in the thoracic spine. So this movement's really coming from the center of your body, not from the elbows. Good. All right, come back to the center. We'll plant that right hand and then reach that left arm up and over. If you want to walk that hand out, as long as that pelvic point is staying on the ground on that other side. And if you want to come to some shoulder rolls, feel free to do that. You can always switch directions, getting some opening. Ooh. Good, switch to the other side. We'll plant that, whatever your other hand is, and reaching up and over. If you want to hold for a second, you can, or you can add in a dynamic shoulder circle. Oh, my arms. Good, back up to center. You can bring your hands to your shoulder blades, and we'll just do some circles. So getting the warm up in your chest and your upper back. And then if this feels good, you can stay here, or you can bring just the shoulders to the movement instead of the hands on them, whatever feels good. So this movement is coming from your shoulder blade, not from your elbow. Good, and then bringing those arms into motorcycles, and you're just gonna open up that chest, so squeezing those elbows back, and then back to neutral. We'll open up that chest. If it feels good, you can bring those palms forward and really feel that opening. If you wanna stay here, you can. Good, and then we'll just end with some neck circles, so slow. If it feels good to just stay on one side, you can do that. Or you can just find some circles. We often feel a lot of tension in our neck after we do arms because we turtle our neck the whole time. So you can try to find that neutral spine here. And you made it, and it's 7:15 exactly. I did it. All right, thanks everyone. I'm gonna stop recording.